Alright, welcome everybody. How's it going? Got one last thing to open up here. There we go. Okay. We're back. Welcome. I got suspended on Mixer again. Showed my man boobs. Apparently you can't have moobs on the Mixer stream. So, yep. I got a little bit of no-no that time. So, instead of my glorious moobs, you now get Ric Flair and Sting. You're welcome. So, anyway, welcome back. Today on the show, we are talking Impact Wrestling, episode 58. We'll be booking Impact TV for week number 2 of September 2020. We are also going to be talking about TNA Destination X. And it's not quite like most Destination X pay-per-views previously. This is Destination X 5, 2009, from the Impact Zone. Normally, Destination X would be littered left, right, sideways, up, down, back, forth with X Division style matches. And that's not the case this time around. So you've got a Knockouts Championship match, you've got a Legends Championship match, you've got the Tag Team titles, X Division, World Heavyweight title on the line, special guest referee for that one, special enforcer ringside as well for that one. One gimmick match with the match of 10,000 tacks between Matt Morgan and Abyss. We'll talk about all of that as the episode progresses. Also, behind our game here, you can see we have broken down all of our competitors by wins and losses. And, AEW said wins and losses matter. And, I kind of thought about that a little bit, and I kind of agree with that to a certain degree. However, sometimes when you're a main eventer, and your record may not be all that great. Adam Cole is a good example of that. Jay White is an upper mid-card guy. He's 11-35 in his career with Impact Wrestling. I had to go back through my entire history since we took over booking Impact to get these figures, as you can see here. And honestly, I'm going to turn off some of our overlays so you can get a better visual of what we're looking at here. We're going to go ahead and turn off our follower goal and our donation goal boxes. There you go. Now you can see the tag team division. And we're actually going to be adding 2 tag teams to our tag team division. First up will be, as we'll go into our teams menu here, we're going to add a team. And they're going to be an occasional team that's active. And it's Bray Wyatt and Jay White. And we will suggest a name here. No. Maybe. No. No. We've already got Violent Conduct. That seems kind of repetitive. The Dark Ones seems moderately inappropriate. Hellbound could be a good one. I like Firehouse. So we're going to call these 2 Firehouse. Bray Wyatt and Jay White. The other team that we're going to add is a team that performed pretty well last time around. And that team, as soon as the game catches up to me here, is going to be probably a bit more regular. And that's going to be TJP and Will Ospreay. And where were some of these tag team names when we were putting together Bray Wyatt and Jay White? I'm also watching the WWE draft. I said I wasn't going to, and then I caved because I'm a mark. I'm a chump. There we go. Death from above. I like that. Okay. So we've got new tag teams, Death from Above and Firehouse. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and move ahead a day. And spoiler alert, if you were hoping to catch the WWE draft, Raw just selected Seth Rollins with their first overall pick. Shocker, because he's the Universal Champion. I have to look over one of my computer monitors here to see who else gets drafted here. And SmackDown selected Brock Lesnar. So there you go. That one is another shocker. Brock Lesnar hasn't been on SmackDown other than last week since like 2006 or something ridiculous. Raw selects Charlotte Flair, which is interesting because she's the current SmackDown champion. Oh no, she dropped it to Becky, didn't she? Or Bayley. She dropped the title to Bayley. I forgot about that. So Charlotte Flair's headed to Raw. The New Day heads to SmackDown. No surprise there. Which leads me to believe, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Becky Lynch is probably the next talent drafted by Raw. Oh, wow. I did not see that coming. Wow. Monday Night Raw selects Andrade. That is, well, I mean, they drafted Charlotte, so yeah, it doesn't really surprise me all that much the more I think about it. But interesting selection by Raw. Andrade. Interesting. So, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. So Seth, Charlotte Flair, and Andrade to Raw. Brock Lesnar and the New Day to SmackDown. Becky Lynch already went to Raw, I think, didn't she? No, I don't remember. I don't remember what the hell happened on Friday. I don't know. But as long as their booking doesn't change, I mean, what the hell are we doing here? Anyway. So, we got rid of a lot of talent. And they're starting to find new homes. Brody King headed to New Japan. We got rid of him a long time ago. New Japan brought in Joe Coffey, who formerly was here. Dave Christ, also formerly with us here in Impact, has now joined New Japan. Eva Lise was with us at one point. She's now with Joshi Puarisu. Jay Briscoe went to Noah. Kevin Sullivan has retired. Dos Caras has retired. He is the uncle of Alberto El Patron, Alberto Del Rio, if you only watch WWE. Alright, so 5 days to go till TV. Let's get into Destination X 2009. The first match on the card was a 6-woman tag team match featuring Roxy Laveau, Taylor Wilde, and a woman called the Governor, who would soon be known as Daphne. She made sporadic appearances in...
I'm not sure.
What are you talking about? Daphne was sporadic in WCW for a little while and then came to TNA. And that team would face off against the beautiful people Angelina Love, Madison Rayne, and Velvet Sky. The team of Taylor Wilde, Roxy, and the Governor would pick up the victory in that one. Next match was a singles match between Magnus, who was at this point in his TNA run still going by Brutus Magnus, taking on Eric Young. And Eric Young would fall to Magnus 4.5-ish minutes on that one. All right. Harry Smith going to tour with New Japan. Good for him. That's pretty awesome. Ring of Honor had a show. Jay Briscoe heads to New Japan as well. Ryan Drago won the Evolve Style Battle Tournament. Mr. Azerbaijan and Soldier won the Shikara King of Trios. Oh, Kadama was the third in that. We also had Being the Elite AEW. And a new tag team. Chris Sabin and El Tejano teaming up. Alright, moving on. Next up, match of 10,000 tacks. I'll give you 3 guesses what was involved in that gimmick. Abyss versus Matt Morgan in that one. And Matt Morgan would pick up the win in that matchup. Next up was the Women's Knockout Championship. The champion, Awesome Kong, would step in and take on Sojourner Bolt. Sojourner Bolt, also known as Josette Bynum. She did a little bit of work in OVW and Shimmer before she came to TNA. Awesome Kong would retain her title, though, in just over 4 minutes. And then kind of a wonky match in the middle there. A singles match, straight up singles match, 90 seconds. Scott Steiner, Samoa Joe. Joe would end up getting disqualified in this one after 90 seconds, giving Scott Steiner the win. Really weird. Weird placement on the card for those two guys. Weird, just kind of everything. Alright, next day has come up. Mark Coffey to New Japan. Mark Briscoe to New Japan. WWE made a contract offer to... Ooh, Drew McIntyre could be a free agent. Interesting. That must be what our email is. It sure is. You know, I would love to add Drew Galloway. $17,000 over 5 years. Was that 5 years? 3 years. I can't see. I scratched my cornea. You can't really see it, but oh my god, did it hurt something fierce. I have been putting these all kinds of weird ass drops in there, and it's just been an absolute nightmare for me. Last couple of days I've had trouble seeing, which means I have had trouble driving, and Ashley's been having to drive me everywhere. Oh my god. The worst feeling ever. I wanted to gouge my eyes out yesterday. So if you see me like fiddling with my face, that's what I'm doing. Or I'm blinking a lot, like I'm doing right now. Okay, moving on. Next up on the card, the Legends Championship, which, if you recall, we talked about this a little bit last episode. This would be the TNA Legends Championship, would later become the TV Championship, which would later become the King of the Mountain Championship, and eventually become the Impact Grand Championship. Now, in-game, in our world, we have both the Impact Grand Championship and the newly rechristened TV Championship, currently held by Cody Rhodes. Alright, we have, wow, a quick decision. Interesting. Brandy Rhodes has become, or is, has her contract expiring. My guess is that she'll stay with AEW. Ooh, okay. Don't know who that is. Todd Sinclair. Looks like he could be headed out of Ring of Honor. Maybe. I'm good on referees, so I don't think we need to worry about that too much. Okay. Oh, sweet. We landed Corey Graves. Big time. That's a big time get for us. Altered their terms to Drew Galloway. $21,280 for 4 years. I'll go 22. I'm going to stay at 3 years, but I'll bump up the pay-per-view bonus. Better offer. He wants that long term. But nope, he wants those 4 years. Alright, well that means I'm going to dial back that 20%. He's going to stick at 20% if I'm going to add the year. That's going to take him to age 39. And he'd be a 23-year pro by then. Hope I know what I'm getting into with Drew. Okay. Anyway, TNA Legends Championship. AJ Styles would beat Booker T, who was the champion going in. So now the Legends Championship doesn't really make much sense because AJ Styles was still pretty young. So not really a legend yet. He is a legend now. All right, next up was the Off the Wagon Challenge for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. Off the Wagon Challenge, you ask? Well, it's just a no DQ match. With a weird, I don't know how you would describe it. You could still be counted out, and that's exactly what happened here in this match. Team 3D, Devon and Brother Ray, would get the win over the defending champions, Beer Money Inc., James Storm and Bobby Roode, by countout. Stupid. What's the point of having a no DQ gimmick if somebody can get counted out? Whatever. I don't know. Would you like to jump straight to your office? No, I would not. Dalton Castle headed to New Japan after we let him go. Matt Sydal won the Evolve Championship. Sean Spears probably pissed at me. Oh, okay. He's in an upbeat mood. Cool. And Big Show will not be offered a contract extension with WWE. I also will not be offering him a contract. I don't really have a place for him. Drew Galloway I barely have a place for, and 22,350, I'm not going 5 years. WWE can have him. I like Drew Galloway, but there's no point in him. I don't think I can use him for 5 years. I just don't. I can't see him being a main event player that far into the future. At least not compared to what we have now in terms of their age. So we'll probably miss out on Drew Galloway. And that's okay. Okay, next up. Ultimate X match. TNA X Division Championship. If you recall, Big X. Wires across the ring.
I didn't find anything about that.
Shut up. God, I don't know why she keeps thinking I'm talking to her. But, the Big X across the ring. Destination X. And the goal is to climb, our hand over hand to the middle, grab the championship, and land on the mat. Both feet hit the floor. And so in this one, you had Alex Shelley, the defending champion, Chris Sabin, Consequences Creed, Jay Lethal, and Suicide. Yeah, the debut-ish of Suicide. Who was introduced through the video game TNA Impact, which I almost bought the other day, and I kind of wish I had, honestly. I might go back and buy it. I found AAA Lucha Libre and TNA Impact, and I almost bought them, and I was like, no, I don't really want to do that, and then I probably will, just because. I know both of those games suck, and they were terrible, but it is what it is. So in this instance of Suicide, it was played by Frankie Kazarian. You also had his SCU mate, Christopher Daniels, suit up at one point. Kiyoshi, TJP, Austin Aries, Jonathan Gresham, Caleb Conley. Those were kind of one-off deals. And then there was a point where the persona sort of switched from Suicide to Manic. I'm not really sure why. Ooh, I got a chill. Oh, man. And that was, I want to say 2013. So I'm not really sure what happened there to change the name from Suicide to Manic. But anyway, Suicide would end up winning. So Frankie Kazarian in the Suicide mask is the new X Division champion. All right. Anything going on? Nia Jax set to be offered a brand new contract extension. They can keep her because I like keeping my female talent healthy. Would be great. All right, one last match to go. Impact TV tonight, and it is the World Heavyweight Championship between the champion Sting and Kurt Angle. Jeff Jarrett, the special guest referee. Mick Foley, the special guest enforcer. And if you couldn't guess, that's probably Sting gets the win over Kurt Angle. A lot of animosity there between Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett. A lot of nonsense happened there with wives and a lot of angriness going on there. Okay, TV time. On Center War Memorial in the Tri-State region. It's actually in Syracuse, New York. It is home, or was home, to the Syracuse Nationals and the Syracuse Crunch hockey team. So Monday Night Raw in round 2 kicks things off with the Kabuki Warriors, the women's tag team champions, have been drafted to the Monday Night Raw brand. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the women's tag team titles. Daniel Bryan's going to stay on the SmackDown brand. He's been there pretty much. He very rarely made some appearances. Yeah. And there's the pretend Fox War Room, USA War Room being upset. Rusev drafted to Monday Night Raw. God, if there's one guy I want to know, and you can comment this or you can put it up in the chat, whatever. I want to know if there's one person who's been screwed by WWE booking more than Rusev. Bayley is headed to SmackDown. Shocker, because she's the women's champion there. You know, I got to say, that new haircut Bayley's rocking, pretty good. I likes. It works for her. Aleister Black is headed to Monday Night Raw. I really hope his booking gets better because he, along with Rusev, have been booked so poorly. So to recap round 2, the Kabuki Warriors, Rusev and Aleister Black to Raw, Daniel Bryan and Bayley to SmackDown. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get to our TV. We've talked about the On Center War Memorial Arena. And there we go. So, to recap kind of where we've been, we've got Violent Conduct versus the Wolves versus the New Day for the tag team titles. Cody against Kenny for our TV title, pending Cody's ability to defend. Kenny has whomever the TV champion is going into the next pay-per-view. Adam Cole versus Johnny Impact for the Impact Grand Championship. Jon Moxley versus Pac for the X Division title. Seth Rollins needs an opponent for the world title. Also, in other matches, we have The Future taking on the Firehouse Tag Team, Bray Wyatt and Jay White. And the Young Bucks will take on TJP and Will Ospreay, who are now known as Death from Above. Okay, so let's get kicking here. We need to figure out what we're going to do with our women's division. So let's start there. Billie Kay is our champion. She has the best winning percentage. Kana has not been used very often, nor has Bea Priestley and Rhea O'Reilly, other than in matches that don't really matter all that much. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take... We'll do Billie Kay. There she is. Against Kana, Asuka. And we'll dip our toes in the water with this one. And we'll see how it goes. But then I also want to get a couple of women involved that haven't necessarily been involved all that much in Bea Priestley and Rhea O'Reilly. And we're going to pair them up in a tag team. So Bea Priestley, I'm going to go with Su Yung. And then we'll put Rhea O'Reilly with Candice LeRae. Let's see how these teams work here. See if we can get a little traction in this women's division here. There we go. And I forgot to change this to Amy. There we go. Alright. So now let's figure out what the hell we're doing with the top of the card here. Okay, so we know Adam Cole, Johnny Impact, John Mox, and Pac are good. Seth still needs an opponent for the world title. Adam Cole is booked. Bobby Fish is booked. Bray Wyatt's booked. Cody's possibly booked. Jay White's booked. Mox is booked. Kofi is booked. Sami Callihan is booked. And TJP is booked. And looking at our numbers here, next man up is probably, because we tried to work Marty Scurll. Did we? No, we didn't. Yes, we did. Week 1, September 2020. Yeah, we just did that, and it was a B. I don't know why I said no to that. Yeah, Seth versus Marty Scurll. We're going to run that for the world title. So I'm going to walk back everything I just said. So we're going to not save that. Alright, so with that, we are going to do a 6-man tag featuring all 3 of those guys. Alright, so we're going to do... We're going to do the Shield, Seth, Mox, and Adam Cole, baby, against Johnny Impact, Pac, and Marty Scurll. What the hell is going... This is stupid. WWE pisses me off sometimes. Okay, so there we go. Got that squared away. Okay, now we're gonna do some one-on-one matches with the rest of the top end of our card here. We're gonna do Sammy and Kofi. Come on. And we're gonna do Eddie Edwards and Consequence Creed. Wow, I just had a really weird flashback to like the early days of Monday Night Raw when when Vince would promote that weird ass uh oh Jesus God. What the hell was the name of that show? Tech War with William Shatner? Anybody remember those promos that he would do? Oh man, that's good stuff. All right, now we will do Davey Richards and Mike Elgin. So just to keep some of these guys in match shape, I guess you could call it. Okay. Guess who's dropping the Raw Tag Team titles tonight? That's my guess anyway. I'm going to guess Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode lose here to the Viking Raider experience of War Machine. Whatever the hell their name is this week. Okay. We need a TV title match. Cody is our champ. All those guys are booked. Penta, he and Penta just went at it. Let's go Rich Swann. He's got a pretty good win-loss record. Dolph Ziggler is one of the best sellers on the planet. Alright, and we've got time for one last match. And we're going to add 6-man tag. Bobby Fish is going to have to find a tag team partner. Because we're going to do Death from Above. We're going to add Firehouse. And then we're going to add Bobby Fish. So that cleans out our top part of our card. And I could do Kenny Omega. Let's do Hangman Page. Let's see how they work together as a team. Okay, there we go. Alright, so our card is set. And here we go. Let's run it. Davey Richards, Mike Elgin did pretty well. So Davey picks up a win. He goes to 3-2. Mike Elgin takes the loss. He goes to 10-6. Bea Priestley and Sue Young versus Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae. It was pretty good. Bea Priestley and Sue Young get the win. And Rhea O'Reilly goes to 0-4. Candice LeRae goes to 3-4. Next, Kofi and Sammy did okay. Sammy Callahan gets the win. It's his 35th win with the company. And Kofi goes to 32-13. Billy Kay and Kana looks pretty good, so I think we'll run with that. Alright, didn't seem to click and it made for an awkward bout. That's alright, we're gonna... No, I don't want to do that. So Kana's out. But Billy Kay gets the win. She's 11-1. Wow, and Asuka takes the loss. Eddie Edwards' Consequences Creed was decent. Eddie gets the win. His 20th. And Xavier Woods gets the loss. His 6th. Death from Above, Firehouse, and the team of Bobby Fish and Hangman Page. Death from Above, Will Ospreay and TJP get their first win. And Firehouse takes a loss. Bobby Fish gonna take a loss. As is Hangman Page. Next up, B+ out of our thrown together 6-man tag match. Adam Cole and The Shield beat Johnny Impact, Pac, and Marty Scurll. So that was a big, much needed win for Adam Cole, get him closer to 500. And The Shield with Jon Moxley getting win 11 and Seth Rollins win number 18. And they would beat Johnny Impact. Who the hell else was on that team? I forgot already. Pac and Marty Scurll. Okay, so Marty Scurll's at 14 losses. Pac is 0-6. Ugh. Okay. And Cody versus Rich Swann. Cody successfully defends the TV title. So Cody's going to finally get his 10th win. Rich Swann goes to 37-18. So that shakes up sort of this middle part of our rankings on the men's side. Let's give that a resort here. There we go. So a couple guys moving and shaking a little bit. And the women's division kind of got shuffled around a little bit as well. Not too terribly bad, but it's there nonetheless. Okay, so that's going to conclude this specific episode. A B, and we didn't increase our popularity, but we didn't lose popularity either. So I guess we're pretty okay with that. We'll get our ratings and we'll get set to get out of here. Also, next episode, tomorrow's episode, we will be talking about TNA Lockdown 2009. Every match was a 6 sides of steel match. Mick Foley would make his in-ring, make an in-ring appearance, very rare in-ring appearance. You would have the IWGP Tag Team Championships along with the TNA Tag Team Championships on the line. You would have a Doomsday Chamber of Blood match. You would have No Limit, Naito and Yujiro make an appearance as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles would be on the line as well. Cody Deaner would be showing up at this one as well. Kiyoshi would be returning. And a weird pre-show match between Eric Young and Danny Bonaducci. Yeah. Danny Bonaducci. Yes, that Danny Bonaducci. We'll talk about all that in tomorrow's episode. WWE re-sign Karen Yu. women's division wrestler. And that's about it. Excellent show report for us. We drew a 3.08 on Pop, and we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still at 6 at C plus or better. So we need 2 more. Southwest, Puerto Rico, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic. Great Lakes is probably our best shot at that. So next TV, we have to make sure we go to the Great Lakes. So we're going to wrap up this episode, and we will say thank you for watching. And until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. Be excellent to each other. Coming up next on the channel, by the way, it's Monday night, which means it's time for Monday Night Football, because the Lions didn't play yesterday. They play tonight. So we will be getting that underway here in just a moment. Be excellent.